Thank you for tuning in to Turn Pain into Power podcast. Today's episode is called Be Careful What You Pray For. And please remember to go ahead and go to the custom t-shirts link on your screen, www.custom-art-t-shirts.shopify.com. Remember to go ahead and support the movement. Link is also in the bio. Yes, so be careful what you pray for. Sometimes we don't know what it will take for God to bless us with what we prayed for. And I am living proof, y'all. Nobody talks about how hard it is to recreate yourself. More importantly, nobody talks about the test that God will put you through in order for you to learn the value, the pain that you endure, in order for you to learn the value of what He's about to bless you with. Sometimes we don't know what we are praying for. We pray for something. For example, we pray for peace. We don't know the people that God will remove out of your life that are not condoning to you having any peace. So yes, that's why I wanted to call this episode Careful What You Pray For, because a lot of the times we have no idea what God will put us through in order for Him to bless us with that. You see, everything is a lesson. And in order for you to get to the next level, there is a lesson, there is a test that you will have to pass. And until you learn that lesson, this journey, it's all lessons, to be honest. And the moment that we change our perspective to learning that not every mistake we have to be so hard on ourselves, then you will easily start appreciating these lessons, like being grateful for those mistakes, because if it hadn't been for those mistakes that you've made, you wouldn't be able to get to the next level. So, this episode hits the core of this movement, Turn Pain into Power, my podcast, my paintings, which has gotten me out of so much pain, to be honest. Turn Pain into Power, I started right when COVID hit. And the moment you have time to yourself is the moment that you can be creative and really look inside. This mental health podcast means the world to me because it started a movement that changed my life forever. When I discovered my passion, painting, I discovered so many other parts of my life that needed to change. So I wanted to do this episode because when I look back at the things I've been through, sometimes it's hard for you to realize how great it is of the things that you've been through. It's like you have to go through it to get through it. You have to go through the pain. You have to bite the bullet. You have to go through all the hard times in order to get to where you're going. And a lot of the times people pray for certain things and they don't understand why God hasn't blessed them with that. They don't understand why the road can get so hard. Yeah, well, God will break you down in order to build you back up, in order to mold you into what you prayed for. See, nobody talks about how hard it is to outgrow your old ways, to recreate yourself, which is extremely crucial and vital. It's the foundation that you're building on to get to where you want to get to the next level. To accomplish certain dreams, you have to become another version of yourself. When you reach a higher version of yourself, you go through a lot of rough patches in your life. And I believe that is what makes you appreciate this version of yourself, this new life. A lot of times people think grass is greener on the other side. Well, they don't talk about what it takes to get to the other side. Yes. So this is a conversation I feel that needs to be had, because in order for you to turn that pain into power, in order for you to get blessed with what you're praying for, you need to really understand that things may get tough, that you definitely need to recreate yourself in order to get to the next level. And I'm going to give you a personal experience of when I started shedding that old skin, because God will break you down to rebuild you. And I want to give you a personal experience of some of the things that I've been enlightened to pray for, that through the pain that you go through, you learn of the things that are good for you and what's not. And you start shedding that old skin. You start outgrowing. In the midst of growth, nobody talks about the times that you're outgrowing your old self and how difficult it is. That transition is extremely difficult because the person that you've been for the past 20, 30 years, all you know, outgrowing everything you know, outgrowing the people, the environments, the habits, the person that you once was, the things you used to like, outgrowing that and becoming the unknown. You know, a lot of the times we are fearful of the unknown. We have no idea of what is to come. And so we stick to our comfort zone, which is not good for our growth. Do things that you're scared for. I say, if it don't scare you, it ain't for you. Do things that scare you. Challenge yourself. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation, because nobody tells you how hard it is. You know, everybody just goes, oh, this is who I used to be. Oh, this is who I am now. Oh, growth. Hashtag growth. Nobody talks about, in the midst of that growth, how hard it is to outgrow the people that you love so much. The environments that's all you know. The habits that you've been doing for years. Yes. And remember to go ahead and check out my custom t-shirts. Link is on your screen, also in the bio, www.custom-art-t-shirts.myshopify.com. Support the movement, y'all. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'm spilling facts here and some real motivational content that I know somebody needs to hear this. I know I needed to hear this when I was in this healing journey and outgrowing my old self. And I wish I would have had somebody tell me, hey, it's okay. You are about to go through some shit in order for you to get to where you're going. But it's going to be worth it, because God is going to be right by your side. God is the one aligning you to go through these rough patches so that you are molded into the person you need to be in order to get blessed. Woo! A whole word right there. Not scripted. So yes, I'm going to give you a personal experience, because when you start praying for things that you know, you better get, if you ain't ready, you better get ready, because God about to bless you, but he about to put you through it. And I'm gonna give you a personal experience. I started praying for things that I had no idea what it took to get to. Things that I knew my heart craved for, because I started outgrowing my old self. So I started praying for things I never had, like peace, freedom. You know, if you're held in bondage, and a lot of you don't know how you're held in bondage. Well, sometimes the way you were raised, like they say, generational curses. Your own family will, you know, they're not doing it to hurt you. They're doing it because that's all they know. They're held in bondage. You know, praying for things like, Lord, remove any strongholds from my life. Remove any generational curses. So yeah, I started praying for things I had no idea what it took to get to, but I trusted in God's process, so I was never scared. When you start praying for peace and you grow up in chaos and all your family knows is chaos, chaotic environment, then God will start showing you that these people are not good for you, are not good for your peace, because you prayed for peace, right? So I didn't know that God was going to isolate me in such a way that he started revealing some of the people closest to me were the ones holding me back from getting blessed with the peace that I prayed for. Right. Started praying for freedom. Lord, I started praying for independent. When you're raised in codependency, you don't realize how you're not able to do anything alone. You always need somebody to come along. You always need somebody's validation to kind of validate that what you want to do is cool, in a sense. Simple things like going to the movies. So I started praying for my individuality, my independence. God, instill this fearless heart, this fearless spirit that is no longer afraid of doing things alone, that no longer needs anybody else's validation. So when you start praying for things that your spirit wants, you know, your heart yearns for it, and it's probably yearned for all your life, you just had no idea. You know, you're living in the unconscious, you have no idea. God will start to isolate you. He will start removing people out of your life. He will start making it difficult for you to do the same things. And outgrowing your old self is a very difficult time, because you feel lost, but you know that God is right by your side. You know that God's plan is bigger than yours. You know that there is a reason, like they say, a method to the madness. Sometimes you go through things, you have no idea why they're happening, but you know that at the end, they're happening because God is aligning them to happen in such a way that things will work out in your favor. I wanted to make this very clear to y'all how important it is to recreate yourself in order to grow and evolve into the person that you are meant to become, to reach your higher self. But it's okay. I want to tell y'all that it's okay to feel like it gets harder, especially when you get closer to getting blessed with what you've prayed for. So if you ain't ready, you better get ready, because it ain't gonna be easy for you to get to where you're going if you don't go through some shit. If it may take you some pain. It may take you something that you've never had before, like being isolated. I don't think I've ever done anything by myself, and now I'm so free. I pray for freedom. I pray for peace. I'm actually better off doing certain things without the companionship of somebody that is chaotic, or like even family. Like, I'm actually better off. I actually want to do things without certain people, and that's what I prayed for. But in the midst of that, in the process of recreating yourself, in the process of outgrowing your old self, it does feel like you're alone. It does feel confusing in a sense. You don't know, this is the person you've always been, and you don't know, fearful of the unknown. You don't know what it looks like to be anybody else. So yes, I want to go ahead and let you guys know that it's okay. In the midst of recreating yourself, it does get hard, but it's so worth it. In the end, the grass is greener on the other side, but it does take work, and it is painful. It's literally turning that pain into power, because that same pain is what's gonna give you the power to do the things, unimaginable things, to gain the freedom, the peace, everything you've prayed for. It's very empowering. So definitely keep going. Definitely and trust in God's plan. Continue to pray. Continue to build your armor. In this spiritual world, if you are not built with God's armor and protection, you are going to break, and it's going to be very easy for you to fall into your old ways. So yes, y'all, I pray for each and every one of y'all to go ahead and continue to move forward. Don't let them strongholds hold you back. Thank you for tuning in, and you guys have a blessed day. Thank you for tuning in to Turn Pain into Power. And until next time, y'all, remember to go ahead and support the movement. Go ahead and check out my custom t-shirts. Support the movement. I will be putting up more of my paintings that I'm working on. www.custom-art.t-shirts.myshopify.com. Have a blessed day, y'all.